Hello friends, and welcome to the session on modal and harmonic response analysis of a crankshaft using ANSYS Workbench. Now, before going into the software, let us first of all see some fundamentals related to modal and harmonic response analysis. So, what is a modal analysis? A modal or vibration analysis is basically a analysis used to study the behavior of a structure, a part or a assembly under vibrations. It is used to determine the vibration characteristics, that is natural frequencies and mode shapes of a part or assembly. What are mode shapes? Mode shapes are the shapes which represent the behavior of the given part or assembly under certain frequency of vibration. Always remember that a modal analysis is a prerequisite for a dynamic or harmonic response analysis. In short, a modal analysis helps us to predict the behavior of a part in terms of clamping conditions also. So that point will be cleared when we will be performing the analysis. Now we know that every part has a natural frequency to vibrate, and under certain conditions these frequencies become large enough which may damage the part. So these frequencies are called as resonance frequencies. The purpose of conducting a modal and harmonic response analysis is to work out the actual resonance frequencies occurring on a part due to the action of a certain load and also causing vibrations. Now, for a free vibration analysis, the natural frequencies omega I and mode shapes phi I are calculated from this equation k minus omega I square m phi I is equal to 0, where k and m are constant. This is the basic principal equation governing a modal analysis. In this equation, linear elastic material behavior is assumed, damping is not included, and take a note that F or force is not present. So in modal analysis, no force is being applied. So now the question will be that if we are not applying a force, then we will be able to get a result by the software? The answer is yes, we will get a result, but those results are relative results and not the absolute results, and they are scaled by the software for mathematical reasons, but by observing the pattern of the results, we as a designer are able to predict the behavior of the part under certain frequency of vibration. So please keep in mind that the results of modal analysis can never be used for a realistic purpose. If you want to work out the results corresponding to the vibration frequencies to a realistic value, you have to go for a harmonic response analysis. So we can also say that a harmonic response analysis is the next secondary phase of a modal analysis, and the inputs from the modal analysis are the primary inputs for conducting a harmonic response analysis. Now, In a harmonic analysis, basically we are studying the frequency response graphs. That is the plot between the frequency at a certain cycle and a certain result. So wherever we are getting the peaks, that shows the value of the resonant frequency. So this we will be seeing when we are performing the analysis of the crankshaft. So now let us start with our analysis. So this is ANSYS Workbench. The first step will be to create a modal analysis. So we will go to Analysis Systems and then double click on Modal to create a modal analysis. Now here we have to first specify a proper material. For that we will go to Engineering Data. Now here the default material is structural steel, but in my case study the material is given as forged steel. So here we will create a new material. In spite of that, we can also create the material by selecting from a standard list of materials already available in ANSYS. Now here there is a question mark which shows that software is asking me to specify the inputs. The first input is density. So the density given to me is 7.833 into e raised to the power minus 06 kg per mm cube. So here we will write the value. Here E stands for 10 to the power. So e raised to the power minus 06. Then next will be Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio. So here Poisson's ratio is given to me as 0.3 and Young's modulus is mentioned as 2.21 into e raised to the power 5 MPa. So here we will input the values as given in the data, e raised to the power 5 MPa. Now we have finished by the creation of the materials. Now we will close engineering data. The next step is either you can create a geometry in the design modeler workbench or you can import a geometry already created in a CAD software like CATIA, SolidWorks or any software. So here we will import the geometry, right click, import geometry and then browse. So here I have already created the geometry. Now I will be selecting the geometry from the desired location. So this is the part. Now we will go to model or mechanical workbench to mesh the part, then apply the raw material and then applying the necessary inputs to solve the analysis. So now the part will be transferred to the mechanical workbench by the software. So this is being displayed here. Now here first we will set the units. So we will be taking units. Next step will be to assign the material. So here I will select the part and here in assignment we have to change from structural steel to forged steel. Now here for meshing I will be selecting a element size of 5 mm for all the faces. So here I will select right click, insert, then sizing. Now here I have to specify the sizing on faces. So I will select faces, then right click and select all. So this is a shortcut method if you want to select all the faces in once. So here I will write the value as 5 mm. I am not going to change the rest of the settings for the mesh. Then right click and generate mesh. So now the mesh is getting generated. So yes, we have completed the mesh. Now suppose if you want to check how many total number of nodes and elements are there in the part, you can go to statistics and here we can see the total number of nodes and elements here. Now the next will be specifying how many number of mode shapes I want to see. So here I will be taking, let us say 10. The more number of shapes we add, the more accurately we can predict the behavior of the part under the increasing frequency of the vibrations. Now here we cannot apply a load, but we can apply a boundary condition. So here I will go to insert and then fix support. So in fix support I will be clamping the outer faces of the crankshaft, assuming that they are mounted in a fixed manner in a casing in which the crankshaft is rotating. After that, in spite of creating the fixed support, we can also apply the fixed conditions by using cylindrical support. So here I can go to cylindrical support. In cylindrical support, I will be selecting these faces. So by control selection, I will be selecting the faces, then apply, and here the degree of freedom which I can restrict or free are radial, axial and tangential. So radial will be like this, in this direction. Axial will be normal to the axis of the crankshaft, and tangential will be if suppose it is in contact with a neighboring